So we're going to get started here, Kelly. Okay, now I only see one of Kelly. All righty, this is good. Okay, good. Tony, you're okay, right? Yeah, good. Don't fall asleep. It looks like it.
Don't get us sick.
Yeah, we're getting seasick, Tony. Okay, so we had our big PE meeting today, and one of the things I brought up at the PE meeting was the fact that I don't think we tell our story very good. Now, I sent you this handout, right? You guys got that, right? Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Tom King, did you get that?
Did.
Okay. So, you know, when I was a zone public image guy and I go to a district conference, I would look up club Facebook pages and websites. And I was amazed that half of them, a lot of times, were so far out of date. I don't know why they even had a website. So that's one of the things I think when you look at this thing, making sure that your club website and social media presence are up to date. Using the current logos and not logos that are from 7 or 8 years ago. So if you got blue in the wheel, that's one clue that you got an old thing. The other thing is that I see, I'm just going to talk in general, then I want to share some, then I want to ask you guys to share some stuff. But, you know, the pictures where people are standing around and getting an award and all that, that's okay. But take pictures like, I don't know if you saw the, you know, I put up a bunch of photos from the golf tournament last week and a video. Did you all see that on the district website? You didn't,
Yeah.
well, you would have to look at the district website, I guess, to see it. And I don't know if I put that up on Facebook, didn't I? Yeah, I put
Yes.
that up on Facebook, not on the district website. But I find that too many times people don't put up action photos. So, you know, everyone's standing around getting a picture and stuff like that, or, you know, getting an award or shaking hands or something like that. So I think it looks better when you're on a project and you're taking photos of people, and especially if they're not Rotarians, it's even better if you include them in the pictures. I had a PowerPoint up. I don't have the pictures here. I don't have the PowerPoint up right now, but I think we don't accurately reflect what we're doing out there. So the other thing, Tom, Tom King, I want you to talk about this because you have a relationship with the local newspaper. And now Tom King used to be a newspaper guy and he retired from that, but Tom does a great job on his newsletter. But Tom, you also have a great relationship with the reporter who comes in. Is it the Farragut Press? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes. So talk about that relationship.
Well, they cover our meetings every week, and some programs are better than others. Not every program gets a story, but they also pick up on other things going on within the club about club members and their businesses and their lives. And we get what I call human interest stories done on some of our members because they're there every week. And I make myself available to their reporter for whatever they need when they need it, whether it's pictures or identifications in pictures or whatever. And she also gets a link to our meetings that are on Zoom if she can't be there in person. I also have a relationship with a news features website here in Knoxville, and it's called knoxtntoday.com. And every Thursday in there, except for this past Thursday, because I had surgery Wednesday morning, I have a column in there every week about Farragut Rotary Club and something that's going on in our club, or a member of our club, a project we're working on or whatever. And it gets shared on Facebook, and we get a lot of reaction from that as well.
Yeah, I get that and I read that every week. But the point I'm trying to make with Tom is that have a relationship, try to develop relationships with local media, whether it's newsprint or your local TV station. And it's going to depend on different circumstances in your town. But
yeah,
go ahead, Aaron.
I have a little bit of a different angle. Jeff Deloach from our local paper's in our club, and he never puts anything in the paper. Of course, Robin Derryberry pushes out stuff every week and it rarely gets in our paper. But one thing I do, especially on Facebook, is I watch all the local media, and we have Chattanoogan.com. And I have a thing on my Facebook that says it's called Rotarians in the News. And so anytime I see, a positive thing that's in the news that's about one of my members, it goes on our Facebook. Promotions or projects or anything I see that I think is a good news, I try to share it on the Facebook.
No, that's good. So, I mean, every circumstance is different. So how come this person who's in your club and works for the newspaper doesn't do anything? You don't know?
I couldn't tell you. Occasionally we get in the Wednesday community section.
Yeah.
We've had, a couple of our big, our feeding clinic got in there and our Tech Goes Home got in there. A couple of our big projects, but as far as being weekly, they're just not.
Yeah.
But in these smaller communities, I'd say definitely reach out to those papers
Yeah.
because they're looking for content.
I think
Yeah.
it's easier to smaller ones. So Jerry, what do you got going on?
Similar to some of the others, with the smaller markets like Cleveland, we have a good relationship with our local newspaper. We have members reporters that attend almost every meeting, either by Zoom or in person. And that goes back years and years on that. And if it's something that's newsworthy at all, it'll wind up in the paper. But in a bigger market like Chattanooga, I can see where it would be a much bigger challenge trying to get.
Channel 3 comes all the time and they put stuff, we get a blurb on the TV more than we probably get in the newspaper. So.
And
Nikki, how about you? What do you got going on? Anything with the press or TV or radio?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, okay.
We used to have the publisher of the local Oak Ridge newspaper was in our club. And then he actually recently changed jobs. He's in Maryville now. He was a huge asset to us, but we do have a reporter who, gets our newsletter, our Zoom links and stuff like that, because we're not back in person just yet. We also have like a local online newspaper, which is called Oak Ridge Today, which they've done a lot for us recently, for sure. So anytime we do a press release, we submit it to at least both of those, and then some other places in Knoxville too, like for TV, because we don't have like a TV station specifically in Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
We do have a smaller local channel, which is very supportive of our club too.
But I do see a lot of Oak Ridge stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nikki,
Yeah.
who's running that Oak Ridge Today now?
John Hootery.
Okay. I don't think I know him, but that's a good idea. I might contact them.
I can send you his info if you need me to.
Because we have speakers from Oak Ridge too.
Yeah, he's great. He's
Okay,
really
that's
responsive.
great.
He's great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Tony, how about you?
I know Hootery from Oak Ridge, so he is a good guy. I was the public relations chair this last year, and I sent press releases to the newspaper. I even called the guy and spoke to him, and for whatever reason, he didn't put anything in the paper. I know newspapers are kind of, hate to use the word dying out, but they're getting thinner every week. And
Well, we
thought
used to
he'd be
have a
looking for
relationship
content.
with the editor.
Yeah.
The editor changed, remember? And
Yeah. Well, I would send press releases and photographs and they put them in there and suddenly they stopped. And I even called the man and said, what do I need to do? What am I doing wrong? I'm writing your press release. I'm sending the photograph. And he was like, oh yeah, we'll put, and then they never did. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying.
So do you ever invite these guys to your club to come to?
We have, and that's something we need to do again. Yeah.
All right, I got a question from in the house with Tony.
You say send press release. Do you have a template for how to create press releases? Is there a model? Is there something?
Yeah,
No, because of my background, I got some idea about how to write a press release. So I can write a press release and attach a picture and email it. I've done that in the past and it worked. And for the
Yeah,
last
it just
6
depends.
months,
You would think they would take those stories because the papers are going to go away here one of these days, I think. How about you, Kelly? Are you in Oak Ridge too?
no, I'm in Cookville with Tony.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're
And I was
in
public
Cookville.
image. Yeah.
Oh, Tony, you're in Cookville. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
Yeah, I just know the Oak Ridge people.
He
and
works
the
in-
paper. I work
He
in Oak
works
Ridge.
in-
Don't confuse me.
Don't ask me to get into it, but I work in Oak Ridge, but I live in Cookville, and it's a long story.
So Kelly, what do
Go
you,
ahead, Kelly.
Kelly, what do you do for any, in your club? Are you in which club?
Okay, I'm in Cookville with Tony. So he's president next year. I was president this year, and I used to be the public image before. And the editor that was there was better about getting it in. And now we've got to just kind of talk with this other one and try to get her to get the other people, because people Tony's talking to are the ones that, you know, supposedly we're supposed to talk to, but I think Lindsay might be better to do it. And the publisher's in the Noon Club, so who knows? It's just crazy.
Where
As you touched on a moment ago, we have our editor or publishers as a speaker at our club pretty much every year.
Yeah,
And that seems to help build that relationship a little bit.
yeah, it's better.
Worked for us anyway.
It's better to know them than not know them when something
Yeah.
happens. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, she's always come to our murder mystery because usually the MC is her fiance, and so we know her. She just started, so maybe that's the reason. It's just been kind of crazy here lately. But yeah, Tony will email and then you never see it. So we try.
Yeah,
But
well,
we do have an online Upper Cumberland reporter that we get in. Anytime we send anything there, they put it on there.
well, I get the Upper Cumberland Journal by email every week. Are you able to get in that at all?
The Business Journal,
Yeah,
I don't know if we've ever done the Business Journal.
Yeah, because I get that by email because I used to belong to the chamber in Cookville. So
That's a thought too. I know the people that run that.
yeah, but
So,
why
that's
not? Why
a
not
thought.
try the Business Journal? You know, why not? You
I
know?
think we will. I think we will now.
Good. Now I did something good. Tori, you were unable to join, and now you're able to join, so that's good. So where are you
Yeah.
at, Tori? Where are you at?
I'm with the Lebanon Noon Club.
Lebanon Noon. Okay.
And we've been pretty fortunate over the past few years that the publisher of the local paper, or at least one of his reporters, has been a member of the club. So we've had some good coverage in the past, but here recently it has slowed down, and I'm not sure if it has to do just with kind of the status of the paper in general and some struggles they're going through, but we've there've been some positives from that relationship, but it hasn't been quite as consistent here recently, and I'm not sure why, but I can check into that further and find out a little bit more.
Well, in Knoxville too, we've got a good relationship with Heller and Hilton Hill. So we got on the radio show at polio time. Sometimes we usually talk about our annual report and things like that. So I think one of the other things I like to talk about is a club annual report and tracking your time, talent, and treasure. Because I think if you want to tell the story, it's okay, when you got a project and you talk about that. But if you can't talk about what's your impact over the year or over the last 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, even attracting members, I think is harder because, well, we meet on Tuesdays for lunch and, we have a speaker and then we go work at the school once in a while. Well, boy, that's exciting, as opposed to saying, here, let me sit you down and let me show you what we've done the last 2-3 years. And in Knoxville, we get the 6 clubs information and we publish a 6 club report. What I tried to do when I was a governor last year was to get everybody to do an annual report so I could do a district report. But that didn't, then we hit COVID and things kind of fell apart because I think people don't realize, when you got 2,900 people and you got all that volunteer time and you start, doing the FEMA multiplier and you talk about all the volunteer and in-kind time and money, it's pretty doggone impactful, and we don't tell that story. And I think that's a bigger story that we don't tell. And I think that's a big miss for us. We do a decent job in Knoxville. We get on the radio and stuff. Halloran will put us on the radio anytime I ask them, which is really nice. I mean, when we did that annual report a year ago or 2 years ago, we did it with the polio campaign. We talked for he gave us 45 minutes, 45 minutes. And he's the #1 talk show host in town. He gave us 45 minutes. That's a hell of a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And we had David Baumgartner in there as well from the Dunkin' Donuts. And that to me is to me, clubs don't do a good job on that, telling their big story. Because you can say we give dictionaries and stuff like that. In Knoxville, I think on that report, we did $500,000 and 100,000 of it went to the schools. So we could talk about all the impacts we had on the schools with scholarships. And, the downtown club gives 3 $20,000 scholarships a year. Those are the kind of things that we need to get more publicity on. And we don't do a good job. The downtown club doesn't get as much coverage as they should for all the stuff they do. So go ahead.
Hey, Greg.
Yes, sir.
The reporter who covers our meetings also goes outside of our club. She Rotary Day at Westview Elementary last week as well.
I'm sorry, Tom, that you came in broken on that. Say that again.
I'm sorry. The reporter who covers us for the Farragut Press goes outside of our club even. She went to World Rotary Day at Westview Elementary last week, where all the 6 clubs came together for World Rotary Day, and she covered that for us as well.
Yeah, she's been there before on those World Rotary Days.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that if we can get that in the paper and things like that. But that goes in the Farragut Press, which doesn't go in the Knoxville paper. But we need to establish a better relationship with the Knoxville media because we don't do a good job. I'm talking about in downtown, Tom, not you guys. Coverage there. So Tony here asked about a template for press releases. I have one. I gave one to every club president last year. It's a template that you can use. And again, Tony, you've done them from your job, so you know all that. But I can provide that again if you'd like. I can send it to you all. And
Greg, you talked about annual report too. Do you have a template for not just sort of a bang bang bang, but a marketing version of the annual report?
Yeah, well,
it looks like something that people will read rather than just feed into, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I've got them on my website, our reports,
okay.
And and it's a PowerPoint that you can plug in your stuff, and
Sure.
So it's a template. And I know Janice used it last year for her report. So, but I think what I think is important on the annual reports that is specific. Let me pull one up. Okay, you guys got a second here? Let me pull this up. Yes. So let me pull this up. Just give me a second. I'm pulling up something on the web. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. I just want to show you an example. I know Tom, you've seen this before, and so you all see that?
yes.
Okay, so this is our report from 1819. And again, this is the template. So this is club history. We talk about club history. I put this, no, this is the order I have it in. We put in about membership. Let me see if I can reduce this so it's not getting blocked. So we put in the, our club members and stuff like that. We had our president-elect had a heart attack and died in April. So he was a naval guy. Put that in there. We have a charitable gift fund, and we talk about that in there. And we're actually up to about 140,000 now with the stock market going crazy. Then we put our club service projects in there. So you can see, here's what we did. Here's a couple photos, how many volunteers, how many hours, how much donated and so forth, how many people impacted. Then Rotary Youth Exchange, we sponsored 2 kids. I don't know why I don't have a picture in here this time, but, oh, this is Rotary Youth Exchange, yeah. So we helped sponsor a kid that year. So we had 2 volunteers, 25,000 hours. The 6 Knoxville clubs, if you don't know, we sponsor a Title I kid to go on RYE every year. We did a project at Shangri-La Therapeutic Riding Academy. We put together we bought some bleachers and put them together. You can see what the cost is and how many volunteers and that. Then we sponsored a couple kids to RILA. And then we did the free flu shot Saturday, all the volunteers and things like that. Rotary Youth Exchange, we take every year, we take the Rotary Youth Exchange kids from our district, and usually we get one from the west side and we sometimes get one from North Carolina. But we put that in there. I don't know why I don't have a picture. That year we did the Habitat for Humanity. And then World Rotary Day, again, we had volunteers that we mulch and do all kind of different things. And then we did another project for Shangri-La. So we did that, another $5,000 gift. Then we do, we play in Heart to Heart. And then what we do is we show, so we had 131 volunteers. We only have 20 members in our club at this time. You can see how many hours we donated, how much money we donated, in-kind donations, how many people were impacted. And then if you multiply the 645 times 2543, it comes to $16,000. And then we add our annual fund, Polio Plus, Heart to Heart. So we did, for us, we did $38,279. And then we show our club awards. Here's what we got for club awards. And then we show who's working outside the club. So Dan is the district assistant governor. He chairs a golf tournament, blah, blah, blah. So here I was DGE at this time and so forth. And then we talk about club fundraising. We have our annual wildflower sale, our first annual show and shine car. And then, I created these Why Rotary videos, and that brings us money. So then we show the contributions, how much we contributed, our major donors, Paul Harris Society and all this stuff. Polio Plus, and then a message from our club president. So this is what we can sit down and show. And then we put some boilerplate in there from Rotary International and guiding principles and all this stuff. We put this at the end. So, and again, we put this out there, what we do and all this other stuff. So it gives you an idea what I started those annual reports and that's a good template. Then you can just, if you want the template, I'll send it to you in a PowerPoint and then you can just substitute your stuff. But because here's the thing, it seems to me, see, right now we had this meeting today and what are we doing? We're talking about next year, right? But at the end of the year, and I was at your end of the year meeting, Janice was the president of Bearden. What I think a president should do at his last meeting is say, here's what we did this year.
That's good.
And recap of what you did, and then put that in the paper. So what we did with Heller and Hilton Hill is we were able to get on his show, and again he gave us 45 minutes to talk about all this stuff. And now, did we get any members? We did get a couple calls. I don't remember specifically if we got any members, but again, it raises the awareness of, and it's right during drive time. We were on between 5 and 5:45 in the afternoon. So this is what I'm talking about, annual report. So from a PI, public image standpoint, this is the kind of stuff you can put out there, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's, you get on a TV show or something like that. So I don't know, what's your thoughts on that? Would that help you? Yeah. And you got to have somebody every month tracking volunteer hours. So whether you do it at sign in or you create a form where people fill it out, and then, this stuff feeds into Rotary Club Central, right? I mean, last year we had 30 clubs that got a Rotary citation. We could have had 45 clubs, but people didn't have their documentation in. And some clubs missed by one goal, and we could have had about 45 clubs that got Rotary citations. I talked to some of my district governor buddies, and they say, "Yeah, we get 5 or 6." I'm thinking, and the same way with Rotary Youth Exchange. We send out 8 or 9 kids, and they only do short summer programs. So these are the kind of things we have an outstanding district, and I see districts in our zone we are far and away, we do more things and it's really great. So what's your thoughts on the annual report?
I think it's a perfect tool for us to help. And it's so easy for the things we did 8 or 9 months ago to be totally forgotten by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you just feed them into this thing and then put them onto Rotary Central, Club Central. And then, because I tell you, I work with Leadership Knoxville and I do video work for them and I put together a montage for them and people say, oh geez, I forgot we did that. Oh, I forgot we did that. And that's what happens when in a Rotary year. And that's what I'm saying is that we should take a pause at the end of the Rotary year and say, here's what we did. Damn, that's really good. That was good. Or we didn't do much this year. What happened, But to take pride and thank the people who did all this stuff and take a second to say, hey, we had a great year. Let's celebrate that year instead of, well, we got to get our goals in for next year. We got to do that, but I don't think we take time enough to recognize all the good we do. And some of you are sponsoring Interact clubs and everything else. There's no reason that kind of stuff can't be in that report. Or a Rotaract club, put that in your report as well. Because a lot of those Interact clubs put some Rotary clubs to shame, I'll tell you. So what's your reaction to that? To the club annual report?
I think it was good. I enjoyed it when you came around and showed us that, and we've been doing it since then, but I don't think we posted it on Facebook. We don't have a website, but I think we need to get it out there more, but no, I like that idea, and we are going to do it this year.
Yeah, because I think, especially if you're trying to, because everything we do affects membership, right? And if we can make ourselves visible, that helps. But I think you can also sit down and, I could say, hey, let me show you what we did last year. And here's what we did the year before. And then, maybe you put together a 5-year combination and say, here's what we did the last 5 years. And track that stuff, because it's not that I do it and I'm doing all this other crap. So I'm taking care of that, not my club. So it's not that hard. Bigger clubs are a little more complicated, but then let as I told you, Aaron, when I was at the board meeting, you got 20 chairs, let them track their own committees, and stuff like
They
that.
don't, but we are working on one for the first time. We should have one before the end of the year.
Well, that's good. But
Yeah.
I think this is how you tell your story. And if you can track that stuff, and like I say, in Knoxville, we put the 6 reports together. And now we're starting, we got a satellite club from Maryville that meets Monday night now. So we're actually, if we can get that thing charted, we'll have 7 clubs in Knoxville.
Now, I'm super proud to report that we're about to have another Interact club.
Is that right? Well, good for you.
Yep. And it kind of falls naturally. Winter Irvin, who is John Germ's granddaughter, is going to be the president.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
She reached out to me and I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Okay.
So,
the other thing I think, I wear my Rotary pin every day. Now I was at the Intro Leadership Knoxville on Wednesday because I help out with the sound and video. And I was wearing my Rotary shirt, and this young lady, she's probably, I don't even know, she's 30. She's in the class, and she says, "You're in Rotary?" I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, I moved here from Birmingham. I was in a Rotaract club in Birmingham." And
they have a tremendous group
Oh,
there.
yeah. And I told her, they got like 300 people in their
Mhm.
Rotaract club and 600 in their Rotary club. So I said to her, I said, "You know what the percentage is of Rotaractors who join Rotary?" She said, "No." I said, 5%. She said, "Wow." And
We're about to roll one into those too. We're excited about that.
so I said to her, I said, "Well, you're not in Rotary, right?" So she's going to come visit our club, and she's a banker. She's at Regions Bank, so the morning club would make a lot of sense for her. But I think I wear my Rotary shirts a lot. You can see I have this shirt on now. Obviously, I'm at a Rotary function, but I wear my pin every day, or I wear a Rotary shirt, and people say, "What?"
I'd say especially wear your pin when you travel.
There you go.
I was on my way to Washington, D.C. on a personal trip, and I had on my Rotary pin, and somebody stopped me that was walking by.
Yep.
So,
And visiting other clubs too. I think that we got to do a better job of making ourselves visible. And so, I would say have a committee. Do you all have more than just yourself on your PI team? I mean, do you have more than just one of you? Because, someone's got to keep the website up. Someone's got to keep the social media going. Some press releases, I think press releases are still necessary, Tony. I know they a lot of times ignore them because they think that what's Rotary, and that's why I think you got to educate them on Rotary. So, but it's not simple. What for some of you, Tony, you've been in public affairs, and was it Kelly? You've been in public affairs. So what suggestions do you have besides the ones you?
Well, I think the
Well, we also have been, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. I was just saying, we also do get on the radio some because the fiance is in radio of the publisher, or well, she's the editor, but with COVID, we've kind of slacked off, but we do usually have 2 or 3 people who work together to, get things together for the newspaper. So it's usually been a team. We had a committee once, and it didn't really work out that great.
Okay.
a camel is a horse made by a committee, So we got a couple on our PR team, but we send things to newspaper. We got 2 or 3 radio stations. We bug, and we've been on the radio. We try to update our Facebook page at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. Like you were saying this morning, cell phones with cameras are the greatest thing in the world.
Oh yeah.
Every time we do any event, I'm always saying, take a picture of it, take a picture of it. Even if you're dropping the stuff off at a coat drive or a food drive, take a picture of it, and get in the picture, and we'll post that. So
yep.
Facebook is pretty much our big thing now. What we're trying to do is get our club members to share our Facebook page so more people get to see it. And that's basically how we're doing it now. But I will tell you, and I'm going to brag on our little club, which is the smallest in Cookville between the noonday and the breakfast. I see more stuff on Facebook from our club than the others. I really do. So that's all.
Oh, you got to work on that. Yeah. Nikki, you were going to say something.
And we take videos.
I was going to say, we have a very active Interact Club in Oak Ridge. We have like over 80 kids in our Interact Club, and they have just knocked it out of the park this year. They have suggested to us maybe doing an Instagram page in addition to Facebook for like younger people, and maybe if nothing else, promoting what they're doing on there, because their peers are the ones who, and I use Instagram all the time myself. So we're going to launch an Instagram page this year for our club.
Well, that's a good goal. That's a good goal.
We are too now, Nikki, now that you've suggested it.
Greg?
I always chuckle sometimes. People say, well, you old guys don't know how to do computers and stuff like that. And I say, who the hell do you think invented this stuff,
Hey, Greg?
Yes, sir.
I chair our public image committee, but I also have Denise Bash, who does our Facebook page, and she's posting almost daily on that. And I also have another member who does our Instagram and Twitter as well. And we do that about our programs or projects or whatever we've got coming up, adding new members. We just inducted three new members 2 weeks ago. And we also have our program chair who comes to our meetings because we want to know what the programs are coming up so we can let the media know. And I'll tell you, it's been preached to me in Rotary all the years I've been in Rotary. The better speakers you have and programs you have, the more news coverage you're going to get.
Yeah.
And the better attendance.
And better attendance. And I will tell you what, the news media gets tired of programs about nonprofits.
Oh, I agree.
And I know we probably all, it's easy to get nonprofits onto your program schedule, but they don't typically make for what I call are compelling programs.
I agree.
And they don't attract media coverage. So,
well, I know that Cleveland had Senator Haggerty on a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to have Sexton. What's his first name? Cam Sexton? Is that his?
That would be Cameron Sexton.
Cameron
Speaker of the
Sexton,
House.
the Speaker of the House.
Yep.
Um,
We have Bob Corker this week coming
yeah,
up.
you got Bob Corker. So, but I agree. I see too many meetings of nonprofits, and it's like, no, I want to talk now. I think right now where we had a school board, not a school board member, but God, what the heck? We had somebody from the schools come and talk, because that's with all the well, Renee Kelly, who is she's the
Superintendent.
what's that?
Is she superintendent?
No, she's the chief of staff to the superintendent. She's the COO. And but she talked about it because, you know, the school thing is a real serious thing right now with kids, and you know, I always chuckle because my grandkids are in Catholic school in Detroit. They've been in school all year. All the Catholic schools, the private schools are all in, but the public schools haven't been. So it's kind of interesting. So
We have a issue in Knoxville of Austin East High School. We've had 5 of their students killed there this year, shot to
Yeah.
death.
it's really
Our meeting coming up Wednesday is going to be a discussion about which lane we want to get into to try to help that situation over there.
well, I'm making some effort. You know, I think if we don't get the kids when they're 2 and 3 years old, and you know, this is where I think we got to get the churches involved and a lot of other people, because that's when it's if the kids can't read in 2nd grade, it's almost too late to teach them. They've got to be ready when they get to kindergarten, and they got to know their alphabet, and they got to know all kind of stuff. And this is where that's where I'm starting to talk this up with a lot of people in the city, because otherwise we're going to be talking about the same thing in 10 years. It's going to be the same thing, because these kids don't have any. This is where their brain develops. You know, the brain between the time the baby's born until they're 3 years old, that their brain almost doubles. And then between the time they're 3 till they're about 25, the half the synaptic connections go away. That's why you got the terrible twos. That's when you got to reach these kids. And if we don't do that, we're going to have the same problems. We need male role models. We need to give these kids hope. And we got to figure out where we're going to go with that. I agree. So what other, Tori, we haven't heard from you. What's going on in your club and that?
Yes, we've, of course, over the past year, things have slowed down a bit, but I'm excited about our new president, Jeff Hall. He's already putting some things into place to reinvigorate the club and kind of get things back on track, especially with our committees. So I anticipate that here in the next few weeks, as he prepares to take office, that we will really see some things pick up, see the pace pick up. And we did a survey here recently regarding committees, and so I think he's really putting some good things in place that will set things in motion for a good year.
Yeah, I did the Survey Monkey for him, and
yes.
So what Jeff Hall did was a survey of all the club members to see. He listed 5 major committee areas and asked them to rank them 1 to 5, which one they'd like to serve on, and then he asked the question: would you like to coach or chair, or would you like to co-chair a committee? So I think 15 people responded, Tori, but it still gives them some idea. And there were quite a few who wouldn't mind being a chair, so it was good.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think what else I wanted to cover, but but to me, the programs are important. They're the most important thing, because again, like Tom says, if you have a nonprofit every week, you know, and then, you know, when I first came to the club, then someone would stand up and say, I make a motion, we give $100 to this club. So when I became president, I said, there are no motions from the floor for money. You got to bring it to the business or to the board meeting, and then we can talk about money, because we're giving $100 here, $100 there. And it was like, no, we're not doing that. So I think just to kind of a recap though, club reports, relationships with the media, make sure you got people who are keeping your website and Facebook and Instagram and whatever else, because I guess Facebook is for old guys like me now. But I think it's important that we do that kind of stuff and we tell our story. And I think the other thing is that oftentimes we don't invite enough guests to our club. So how would they know about us? Now, one of the things we did at Leadership Knoxville this year is, I was going to do a Chris Blue concert. Remember that? And so I made we made a $2,500 donation, right? $2,500 deposit at Mill and Mine. So that money was lost to us. It was sitting there. So the Leadership Knoxville did their meeting at the Mill and Mine. So we got to be a session sponsor because that money was kind of lost. So we turned it into a donation, and we got to talk to, we had all the club presidents come out and talk, and we introduced them all, and we got a chance to bring in some people. I know I just talked to someone yesterday who's interested in coming in. So I think we might get 2 or 3 new members out of that. But look for opportunities in those kind of situations where, you can talk about Rotary. And Aaron, you got the new mayor's a Rotarian, right? Tim Kelly.
He's already on the calendar.
Yeah, he's already on a calendar, so those are good things. I don't know, I think we gotta stick with basics and get that stuff out there. I know we did some billboards for a while, when we used to get that $15,000 from Rotary. Think about a billboard. Sometimes you can work with the billboard companies. Sometimes they have a gap in their, they don't have a sign sold. Sometimes they'll do a PSA for you, and so talk to the billboard companies and see if they can, on a, it might only be 1 month a year, but you might get, we can have Rotary out there. So.
I think Lamar has a reduced rate on billboards for nonprofit organizations or.
Yeah. And it's visible, people see it.
Yeah. We sold, I think, at least 1 table to our gala last year just from a billboard. Billboard cost us $300, something like that, and we sold a $2,000 table
because of that. Yeah,
we can directly track to that billboard. So.
Yeah, I mean, people see the billboard every day. Good grief. So everybody's familiar with Brand Central, right? On Rotary.org.
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Nikki looks like, I don't know. Okay, but that's where you find your logos, right? You can build a logo for your club. They've got pamphlets and tripos in which you can build onto, they're all editable. So there's a lot of stuff on there that you can use. So don't be afraid to go there and make sure that you're using the current logos and things like that. So
that's a pet peeve of mine, the blue and yellow logos.
I know
it's still out there.
Yeah, it's amazing. This many years too, since we changed it over.
2014, I believe.
Yeah, I know. It's about 7 years. That's about right. Doesn't seem like that long, but
yeah.
All right, I'm out of words. Janice, you got anything?
Only thing I was going to say, Greg, is COVID. One thing that has come out of COVID is being able to Zoom in Rotary clubs from other parts of the world, and I have thoroughly enjoyed going to other countries.
Yeah, to attend. Okay, so Jan, you may not hear, but she says because of the COVID and Zoom, she's been attending meetings all over the world. And the other thing is that with Zoom now, you can get the governor. I mean, you can get somebody. He's not going to drive over to your club, but he'll give you 20 minutes.
We had the governor on Zoom.
Yeah. So this is something that Zoom has. I've been using Zoom for about 4 years, and I'd say to someone, "Hey, let's do a Zoom call," and they go, "What's Zoom? I don't know what Zoom is." Now everybody knows what Zoom is, but you can get people from all over the world, to talk to your club. So think about that. You have a guest speaker that you normally would never get anyway. So that's a good point. Yeah.
One thing that the Zoom and the pandemic has done for us is we have restarted meeting in person again as of the first week in May. We're also still Zooming our meetings for the members who cannot come to the meetings. And it's working pretty well so far. And you helped start that too, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt we're doing, hybrids will be around a while. So, Tony, you were going to say something, Tony? Oh, okay. So let's go around. Jerry, what do you got? Any last thoughts? Any takeaways?
No, all this sounds really good. Talking about the Zoom thing, we're getting into a little bit of a situation. We've been back in person since I think 1st of February or so. And we're starting to debate a little bit. At this time, we're doing Zoom and in person. And we're starting to think it's a little bit too easy for some of our members to just Zoom in. And I don't see Zoom ending anytime soon, but that is a bit of a caution, is that, it's very different Zooming and being in person.
Yeah, it's
And,
true. Yeah, we're doing the same thing. So, okay.
But,
Anything else? Did you get any takeaways?
the annual report thing, I definitely, it's something that we, after you came around and talked about that, we had that on our list, but never did quite pull the trigger on it. But I really am going to try to bring that up again. Hopefully we can make that happen. We've got our year-end dinner coming up June 24th. So that gives us a good bit of time to pull something together on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jerry. Tom King, anything?
No, got some good ideas today. I appreciate the meeting.
So what's one takeaway for you?
One takeaway for me.
Yeah.
I like the idea of expanding, a relationship like with Oak Ridge today, because there's a lot of follow up and kind of crossover stuff between the two communities here. And I want to be in touch with Nikki about that. That's a good idea, I think, to reach out there. And I noticed I was speaking at Nikki's Facebook page, and she and I have a mutual friend in Mark Holder. And Mark's in our club, of course, and he works in Oak Ridge though. And I just think we could do more things like that. If you think about that from our community standpoint, there's a lot of synergy relationships that can be made better, I think, between clubs.
Yeah.
That was one thing I made a note of too, because you said that you guys do Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So I made myself a note to check out what you guys are putting out there, because this will be my first year coming into PR committee. Previously, I've been handling community service stuff. So I always like looking at what other clubs are doing and what they put out there. So I think that's a great idea too.
That's good. Yeah.
My suggestion is watch other clubs' Facebook. I'm on Being Rotarian, Rotary International, and I've got the the international president, and I pick stuff off other people's Facebook all the time, those other Rotary sites. Sometimes the Nashville Club will have something great on there, and I'll grab something off of theirs just because I know people at that club. And there's a club in Nebraska that I hijack stuff from all the time because they put good stuff on. And but it's Rotary content, but they get it from somewhere. And the guy in Australia, Evan, I get stuff off of Evan's page all the time.
I follow Evan myself.
Yeah.
The other thing is the PR people out in zones 32 and 28. They're out in California. They have a lot of high level PR people out there, and that's something else you should track. So.
But get on the Rotary International Facebook, because they do put a lot of good information out. And I share it with my, I try to post 2 to 3 times a week, something.
Okay.
And then Robin does our program. She'll do a month out, and she scheduled it to hit, so she doesn't have to do it every week. She does it once a month or whatever, and you can schedule it to hit once a week.
Okay, Nikki, did you have any specific takeaways other than the one you said? No? Okay. All right, Tony, any takeaways, any thoughts, any snide remarks?
Snide remarks. Me? No. The ideas you guys have shared and Aaron talking about stealing from other people and putting it on your page. I've
still Rotary content.
Yeah. And just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
Okay, good. All right.
And we do share from different pages, clubs.
Yeah. Tori, how about
Y'all
you?
go to my Facebook, look around.
Tori, how about you?
We will.
Yes.
I'm doing that right now.
This has been very helpful. So I appreciate the time that you've given to put this together and provide this information. I'm going to get with our outgoing president, Linda Hackett, to see what she's preparing for her end of term presentation, so that we can prepare and some information about that, press release, put some of that on Facebook as well. Even though it's been challenging past 12 to 15 months, as a club, we've still been able to do some good things. And so I think it'll be good to remind the members of that and remind our community of that as well. And I'll get with Jeff as well as he prepares to assume his responsibilities and talk more with him in detail about the direction he wants to go and how he wants us to promote. So I've taken a lot of notes here and have some good information to share with them.
Good. Okay, Kelly, what about you? Any takeaways or? Kelly, I don't know. She doesn't have a microphone on. All right. How about you, Jen?
Back and forth.
Jared, what?
The end of the year report stuff and going back to our president, I don't know if she's looking to do at the end of the year presentation.
Okay,
Maybe
well,
that's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
But just that right at the end, just the idea, never thought of getting on the Rotary International Facebook page.
Oh, yeah,
and looking
absolutely.
at it and
Yeah.
Just start sharing stuff with my personal.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff there. Yeah.
I've been waiting till I'm sort of in charge to say to everybody, we've got a good bulletin editor and she puts things on her Facebook page. But I want everybody that has a Facebook page
To share stuff, right? Yeah. So Tony was talking about Aaron, that you mentioned the Rotary International Facebook page and stuff like that. So that's good stuff. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go unless you got some other thoughts, comments, snide remarks. Thanks for your time. And if I can be any help to you, let me know. Okay. Because I'll be the district PI guy next year too. Because I got nothing else to do, So. All right. Take care, you
See
guys.
ya.
Hey, Greg. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.